Yes, I'm now live on YouTube for an interesting topic. Probably it is the last anything for this year, 2025. Interesting year. I'll probably do a recap as people chime in to our stream like last year or last week. We had a good crowd, good questions. Hopefully I'll have the same tonight. Okay. Will AI replace Quant? My opinion is I think we're already there. I think part of 2025, I've been pretty well a year and a bit doing full-on AI, and it was much different than a year ago versus where it's at now. Chat's a clear winner, or not Chat. The other one, Claude, pretty well 4.5 leads the way for code generation, and all things like that. Basically, Claude, pretty well by a long shot, everybody loves. And without Claude, I don't think AI would be as advanced as it is now. Claude sets standards in many areas of AI, and the question is, will it replace X? I think it's going to replace a lot of X. And I think the other thing is the Chinese LLMs, namely when DeepSeek came out. I think DeepSeek really set the standards on moved the market for a good couple of days when they came out February 1st, I think it was, this year. And I think the Chinese LLMs are really good, and they're held back for the public, or they're held back for the West. So there's a different answer to that. So I think AI will replace a lot, including Quant. So thanks for joining. If you got an opinion, questions, type it up in the chat. I'll definitely respond to it. That's why I do these. As I said, I'm trying to keep it Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Last one was for 3 hours, so I could definitely do that. Hello, Oliver Graves. Hello, how are you? Thank you for joining. Yeah, so if you have opinions, just let me know. And the question is, why do I think AI, it's always a start like last week. Some of these, hello, Nuvi, how are you? Anyways, the thing, as I said, with the AI, will it replace it? I think it will. We're already at that point. With Claude, I can do a lot, as I said before. If you want to do FPGA, yes, good for you. We love Trump. Okay. These are what's coming up in the chat. So a lot of them, I'm gonna just whatever. They won't derail me. Oh, good for you, Oliver. I'm glad you're a truck mechanic. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I don't think it'll take a while for you to get replaced. So there's that. Anyways, AI is going to replace a lot. Actually, I was talking about truck drivers. A lot, like once Tesla brings out this new rig, the autonomous rig. I mean, that's already been tested for a couple of years. It's going to change everything. There's Waymo. There's now the Tesla. What do they call it? The Tesla One, the taxi thing. So it's all going to change. Anyways, let's talk about quant related. I think with AI, some LLMs are large language models are already at the space. Thanks for all the likes. So if you got questions, Nuvi, I just ignore them. Yeah, that's the best way. It's the only way to get around that. So at the beginning, we had the same thing. You look AI generative. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm an AI. I just respond like a robot. But like I said, we got AI now developing FPGA code. We've got AI describing in full detail high frequency trading strategies. We've got AI that can do C++ in 10 minutes. all thanks to Claude. So we're already there. There's an interesting question about yeah, that's the Tesla cab. I think we're going to be moving here. I might move. I didn't expect many people coming aboard this fast so soon. Yeah, I think I did notice that AI could collapse the entire economy. I don't know if people know, but there was robots being released for some island in China, human robots, and there's going to be thousands of them patrolling like police. I just saw one for Shenzhen in China, like patrolling, like a police. So pretty scary stuff. And what the prompt to generate this stream? Okay, Tesla promised many things. I wouldn't worry about Tesla. Tesla is an interesting company. I mean, you got a guy now, $750 billion. He added 150 billion in a couple of weeks. We're talking about Mr. Musk. If you need any editors, send my email. I'm okay on the editor front. Thanks for all that. Anyways, will AI continue to replace a lot of jobs? And again, in Quant, I believe it. I'm pretty sure that the coders will get replaced. And I say that because CBS, all their staff are now learning how to vibe code. So there's that as well. And with the vibe coding, I don't like it, but it's going to be a disaster. Letting people think it's like JavaScript programmers trying to be like C++ programmers. It's not the same. So AI is going to level everything. I mean, and it's a good thing as well, because I said in one of my videos with AI, it enables the mom and pops like us to be able to get full access to used to be secretive stuff. Things like high frequency trading. What do the high frequency trading shops do and their strategies? It's all out there. You just got to know what LLM to use and how to prompt it. So I'm taking full advantage of it. Yeah, it's interesting, but I guess it's overhyped some stuff and good, but most of it doesn't work very well so far. For you, Swiss Tanuki, my response to that is very, very easily. It depends upon how you're prompting and what LLM you use. And I've been saying it and time again, Claude 4.5 is what you got to use, and you got to spend the money. I spend now a couple $100 a month on AI, but yet people go, why would I do that? Because I'm doing the job of hedge fund managers and analysts and programmers all for $200 or whatever I'm spending. So I get a lot of benefit out of it. Nuvi asked, I have one question about around data. Do you regard as acceptable when it comes to data latency for execution of strategies? Not quite understanding your question, Nuvi. What I can say is data, like, let me say it this way. If you're trying to get into quant, everyone's trying to look for like some magic pill formula or algorithm. They don't exist. The thing is, part of some very smart people in a fairly new WhatsApp group. If you go on a LinkedIn, look for a guy named Quant Beckman. He's put a couple of links out on his WhatsApp group, and I'm part of that. And there's been some very interesting questions on that. And one guy said, and I think he knows what he's talking about, when it comes to strategies and data, everything's data driven, nothing else. It's not driven by intuition. It's driven by data, what's trending, and what's where the money opportunity is based upon liquidity and the like. I mean, look at silver now. Everybody's piling in. And again, the AI is saying, well, watch out for silver, because with silver, what's going to happen is silver, platinum, and copper, which are all spiking right now. If the economy tanks, meaning manufacturing tanks, look at oil as a good example. If the economy tanks and manufacturing tanks, those commodities will collapse as well. The only one that will still continue is gold, because it's where people see the value of real money, where the other metals are used for manufacturing. So those are the new trends. I probably was as yesterday just silver, but it's come back pretty fast and pretty fast and pretty hard. So it may continue. Yeah. Algo trading, forex or futures. What do you think is better and why? From Imad Kaza. I've been saying for a long time you want to stick with futures and options. There's more info there. Retail forex is just that's where the poor people go and want to lose money. Unfortunately, also the Swiss franc. Actually, the Swiss franc's looking pretty good of all the currencies. Outside of the Japanese yen, I think Swiss franc's the other one that people will want to hold on to, as long as the Swiss National Bank doesn't do their we're going to depeg from the euro business or panic. So that might be another currency to hold. Another currency to watch is the Mexican peso. A lot of volume been jumping in late November, and it's been spiking. So that's another interesting currency, and I think that's happening because there's nothing else out there that a lot of the firms can put money into. I know some shops are using data from Data Benta, which is lightning fast compared to Rhythmic. I'm just worried about being in front by spoofing. For you, Nuvi, I don't think you have any. Well, there's nothing you can do about it. No matter where you trade, you're going to always have to compete with the HFT shops and all the advanced bigger shops. But I just put a project up on my membership, and part of it will measure aggressive trading. So at least you know, I think I mentioned this last week, where you can use part of the API from Rhythmic to see what who's aggressively trading. So Swiss, way to good. It's killing our export. I think that's one of the reasons why they may try to drop the value of the franc, Swiss franc, because of that. That's not unknown. But again, yeah, there's not many places to go when it comes to currencies. Mexican peso is another one. Onshoring manufacture can't work with the U.S. without heavy automation. High living costs discourage manpower, intensive manufacturing and automation. Just defeat the very purpose. That's from Exergia Mars. Thank you. Well, what's happening in Europe is quite interesting, and they're talking about deflation. And when you look at what's happening in Europe right now, like Germany's in trouble, pretty well all of Europe's in trouble because their manufacturing has been hollowed out. And a lot of the big German manufacturers are outsourcing their manufacturing in places like, well, let's just say Asia. So what's happening is those markets are getting flooded with cheaper Chinese products. So that is where the deflation comes from, because when you import as they are, especially in car manufacturing, everything comes down in price because of China deflationary product. So that is something to be kind of concerned with for Europe. With US, the US is big enough as an economy, and with Trump doing his tariffs, that can only last so long. You cannot protect yourself from that. So you have to compete against China, and that's going to be kind of hard to do when they're pumping out really next to nothing product, especially the car manufacturing. Interesting is already 0%. Soon we go minus again. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Yeah, so there's not much you can do about that. Especially, I mean, I don't know where it's going to go, but that's why gold is spiking, and silver, all the metals are spiking because of what's happening. It's the world saying we don't trust the fiat currency anymore. Yeah, so there you go. For Swiss Tanuki, you don't have to worry about inflation at all. It's expensive enough there. I was there for a month in September, October last year in 2024. Man, it's pricey there. But then again, when you have more affordable economies, it's going to be hard to compete. I don't know how they're going to get away with it. I don't know what the employment. As I understand, the employment is still pretty good in Switzerland. But if it's service based, they'll be fine, especially in the financial field. Looks like, yeah, I'm just only responding to people that are commenting. If you got questions about Quant or anything to do with AI or whatever, just type them in. I'll respond to them. So Exerma Mars slap dumping cess on state subsidized good against China and have tie up with non-Chinese Asian countries for joint manufacturing abroad. It seems business is profitable and ensure a steady stream of income. I do remember during the coronavirus, what happened was that was kind of going on with China. So what they do, everyone started putting exporting out of Vietnam. So what would the Chinese do? They'd manufacture their big core parts, export them into the smaller factories in Vietnam, and then they slap on a label, product of Vietnam, and the government, like the U.S., will gladly import it from Vietnam, but it's still probably 95% Chinese manufacturing parts. So that's what they did back then. I mean, Chinese are not dumb. They're just they had know how to get around things. As I said, if you got other questions about quant or computing or whatever, just type them up. I'm just responding to more of the economic stuff. Like some of these comments are awesome. Unemployment's still okay, but in IT and banking, it's getting harder. Yeah, I think AI is changing all that, and it's going to get harder, unfortunately, especially in finance and IT. Like, all I know is when I look at my LinkedIn contacts that come into my group, just so you know, I have a LinkedIn group with 10,000 people. So I'm seeing that every day, and I'm looking at a lot of, we'll say Indian, but the killer thing is, when it comes to like India, all these companies in the West are basically outsourcing all their IT to India. Everything. Like I had JP Morgan, Micron, all these companies are outsourcing out of China. So those same jobs that should be going to the West, like the US specifically, they're getting outsourced, and that's what's going on as well. Lots of great responses here. Yeah, but that won't work with every Asian country. India, for instance, is a competitor in investing heavily in infra basics that boost manufacturing. News big tech is betting on India. Yeah, I agree. But from a service perspective, all these companies are outsourcing all their software development. Any tech talent is now being outsourced of India. It's been that way for when I graduated in the 90s, when IBM started the whole thing. And that kills off, obviously, the well-to-do standard of living in the West. That's why everyone's moving out because of that, and taxes, and well, I'm not going to get into that, but I think the outsourcing a bigger problem than AI. I think outsourcing will stop because of AI. There's fewer jobs out there, and there's going to be more people applying for those same jobs. I'm hearing that all the time. And people my age in their 50s are like, I'll early retire. They'll have found ways to get by. And you know, and not just that, but everywhere I see now, you want to get attention, making noise to get a quant job. You have to show your real trading talent. You have to show your GitHub repositories and all that. You have to be a brand now. I thought, thank you, Antonio. I appreciate that. Yeah, funny. It's always at the beginning. They die off at the beginning. I don't know how YouTube serves them up. Anyways, yeah, talking about that, on LinkedIn, what I've been posting is infographics. Ultra low latency one on Bitcoin, and I'm now starting to attract the big boys from BlackRock, State Street, and Citadel, and they're following me. So I'm quite shocked like that I'm able to reach these people. And it seems that I didn't think that they were active at all on LinkedIn, but lo and behold. These are funny. I think we get comments like this because it's that time of year where people drink out of their mind. Okay, would it be possible to elaborate on some of the ML models you use? XGBoost, LSTM, and if they're single step or multi-step. Also, these running classifications or regression models. Let me explain it this way. I let the AI kind of pick things for me. So as an example, I put up a C# project. I had that design with the server and 2 client strategies. And I purposely chose Redis or Valkey for that. So I generated another one equivalent to C++, and I just said, let the AI pick it. So it picked Windsock. So that's how I do it. So a lot of the algos are very specific for HFT stuff. So one of them came up with, I can't remember the name of it. No, it's a bunch of patterns, and it was for gold. And apparently, when I did a comparison to all the other types of strategies it recommended, this one was the best performer. Like last week, I had one that was market making. So that one was picked because of that, because I can run like a variety of AI strategies or HFT strategies against each other, rank them, run the back test automatically, and then have it forecast. So I've got some videos that does that, and I do the same thing. So I don't really particularly handpick certain models because of those are popular or whatever. The data itself, the AI is so sophisticated enough. If you can send in or post data from the markets, like real market data, and then you can have your AI say, okay, these are the best performing strategies, HFT strategies we'll call them, or quant-based strategies based upon the data and the time period. So that's how I do it, and then it comes up with these interesting, like a reverse RSI or things like that. And then you just, as I said, you stack them and rank them against each other. There's one for a Kalman filter that was top rated. I just can't remember the other one for this AI one. Last week there was a market making one. So that's how they're picked. Do you like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? Yeah, I do like them when they perform. Obviously, that's for Swiss Tanuki. My view is right now Bitcoin is heavily regulated. And when I look at the AI from today's analysis, people are going crazy for Zcash because it's private. So the response from AI said this would be a great, best performing coin due to privacy, but it poses a risk because the regulators will step in and basically make it have no value. So that could happen to both Monero and Zcash. But Zcash is performing, and what's his name? Arthur Hayes, the founder of BitMEX, he's saying the same thing as well. So I do like crypto, but between Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin's going to start becoming less relevant, but Ethereum will be the big one. And I say that because I know that the new stable coins, the USDT, the Tether, and Circle, will suck all the oxygen out of Bitcoin. But why Ethereum? Because both those stable coins are built on the Ethereum blockchain. So all the important secondary, like level 2, L2 coins are built on Ethereum. So I think Ethereum will become the new Bitcoin because of that, and it's going to go up. And I think that's going to be very, very valuable for Ethereum over the long run. This is going to be an awesome session. Thanks everybody for asking these. How could a bot mimic my best performance, feeding my best performance model, or how to approach it? That's for blank, I guess. You could feed data now to advanced to advanced LLMs, and you can prompt it, say what's the best strategy to use, and then you can say code it up. I won't say it's simple as that, but it's getting there. And the only one that can do that is Claude 4.5 properly. But there's some Chinese ones. Actually, today Facebook or Meta has taken over a fantastic AI. Manus AI, that is probably as good, maybe better than Claude. So as long as Meta doesn't touch Manus and keep Manus the way it is and makes it free, I think that that is going to be something to watch for. But you can do this equivalent, what I just said, with Manus. And you can actually specialize in generating bots or AI agents. So you could probably easily do that with Manus. So that's something I'd probably try on Manus AI. They're headquartered now out of Singapore, but either way, it's now owned by Meta. And that, to me, is a brilliant move by Zuckerberg. Brilliant. Great AI. That's going to put Meta back in the forefront of all the competitors out there. And the other two ones I'm really digging is Perplexity and, of course, Claude. I'm starting to really love Perplexity. I've been playing with that. That could be a real threat to Google, just so people know. We're building a distributed order book that enables AI market making. JBNY. Yeah, you can do that with AI. I've done a different subset of order books, like a bid-ask spread with live Rhythmic data. Didn't take much. You can do it in C++, C#, if you want to do it with Rhythmic. We're at that point where you can easily do that. Yeah, I'd continually do that. JBNY. Yeah, and if you're out for whatever reason, going the AI route to get back in is the best way for that, combined with Claude. And as I said, Manus is going to be a real threat now. It's always been a threat. I don't use it because it's very expensive. But I do hope that Meta makes it free, like what they did with the Llama. That's going to reset the whole game for Meta, that purchase. What is my, so Nufi's asking, what is your typical trading time frame and look back ruling window? Right now, my optimal I like is 1 hour. I'm still trying to approach it with a high frequency trading mindset, but hourly seems to work with Rhythmic, and using MotoWave, I can generate now data CSVs that go as low as 100 milliseconds with no restrictions. I mean, outside of the terms of service with Rhythmic, but you can't really do, I mean, you could do that also with TradingView as well, but the data can go as low as that. So I'm using MotoWave to generate that data and then just feed it into the AI, as I said. Swiss Tanuki, but you don't buy anything in Bitcoin, correct? You only made money when you turn it back to dollar. Yeah, that's a good argument, Swiss Tanuki. I've used crypto since for 4 or 5 years. There's a speculation part of crypto, which is what everybody's doing, but the real utility of crypto will come out of the stable coins, namely, obviously, Tether and or USDC Circle. That's where the utility will come from, because if you get onto an exchange and then you have your crypto, and then you can generate wallets for USDC, and then you can spend money using USDC or Tether, like what they're doing in South America, like it's everywhere in South America and China as well. So a lot of places will start accepting USDC because that's now the fully Davos chosen crypto coin. The XRP is trying as well, but I think right out of the gate, it's going to be Circle that will control that. What do you think about 911? 911 the car, or 911 the emergency service that we have here in North America? Yeah, hold on. The Ethereum gas fee is something that's been a concern. I'd agree with that, but I think the latest version of Ethereum, they've tried to address that because if that was the case, then why would these very important stable coins choose Ethereum as their underlying blockchain, right? Because there's many other good ones like Tron, or I think Tron's a really good one. Coinbase Base, they're trying to be as a competitor as well. That has virtually no gas fees as long. There's a whole slew of them out there, like what do you call? Yeah, let's just say that. That was a steal. They made the money back with Meta share prices going up today. Yeah, that Meta purchase for Manos is brilliant. I didn't see that coming. When I read that last night, I was like, "Holy moly!" That was a brilliant move. Do you have a course? I just graduated in CS. Do you think this degree can help me in quant? Yes, I do have a course. Just go to my website, quantlabsnet.com, and you choose more, and then you'll see plans and product and course. So I've got a course on futures and options as well. So I got all kinds of stuff, and that's how I'm at the point now where I'm with futures and options. These are amazing. These are amazing. Swiss Tanuki has got to go. Interesting. Yeah, I think it's like 1 or 2 a.m. over there, if you're in Switzerland. Yeah, so, and you can always watch the replay as well, if that's what you want, as well. So, regarding the degree from computer science, this is a good point. People are trying to learn computer science on their own versus going through a school. And what's not really mentioned when it comes to schooling is the people learning on their own, they're not going to get access to the job fairs that all these specific companies are hiring only from this university or going and hiring interns. And they can only get that through that university. And if you're going, obviously, into Ivy League schools like MIT, Stanford, Harvard, and that can change your life. So that is an unmentioned thing about universities, because it gives you access that the person on their own learning all this stuff will not get access to. One other thing I must say when it comes to education through university, I don't agree with what's being taught and what's, how they're approaching it, but from the hiring side, if you're let's say, take it from a hiring manager at any of these companies. If you're hiring a graduate from, let's say, I don't know, MIT, even in my city, U of T, like University of Toronto, and they screw up, and the management looks at, why'd you fire that person? Oh, they were from MIT and they didn't work out, and they'll go, oh, okay. Whereas a person that is hired with no education, like no degree, and they get fired, the hiring manager is going to get looked upon. Why did you hire that person, but you ended up firing them? So a lot of the hiring managers will not hire people if they don't have a formal degree of somewhere from a good school. And nobody ever mentions that. And I've known that for 20 years, especially in the banks as well. Can we get a Bubbles? I ain't never been so frisky in my whole life. These comments are awesome. I think these people should be comedians. My working theory right now is why we get them right now is because it's a time of year where people are sitting alone and they just drink, and they're great typists, and they just sit on these streams trying to do whatever, and whatever. It's fine. Oh, we got another one. Ugh, whatever. People are coming up with amazing things. I don't know if these are bots or what. Let's see. Some of these are comedians, and thank you for visiting. I do appreciate them. I don't know if you guys see them, but I think that I don't need to pay $40 to go see a comedian. I can just do a live stream and get a good laugh at these. What with the capability of AI now, you say it is better to go it alone of your capital, or is it joining a firm still a better choice? Look, I do think you should, if you can, join a firm, because you're going to get a lot of, we'll call it trade secrets that a lot of these firms have that they're not going to obviously publicize. So if you're in these companies for a couple of years, you'll learn their trading sauce. And that's how a lot of these, we'll call them 30-year-olds coming out with PhDs, they go into these firms for a while, pick up something, and then they'll go out and raise capital because now they have some secret sauce done. And you only get that from the firms. For me, no firm's going to hire me, I don't think, because of Yeah. So, yeah, I think if you can get in a firm, get in a firm for sure. But it's competitive now with the internships now, which are done for the summer. The high-paying, $200,000-$300,000 a year internships at the Jane Streets and whatnot. So, or even Citadels, like they probably already picked them, like back in November and whatnot. So if you, as I said, if you got comments, questions, let me know. Yeah, yeah, I'm a champ when I handle this commentary. Maybe I'm too old or something. But if you're talking to a 20-year-old doing this, they'll get bent out of shape. These are awesome. Creative. They'll only last for half an hour, I think. Oh, we're past the half an hour mark. Yeah, well, you can keep trying to be hostile, but I don't see the point of it. It's the funniest thing. Nuvi asks, I'd happily work for free, but I like you, I wouldn't be taken, hence going it alone. I think, let me address that. If let's say your dad is an entrepreneur and you have the entrepreneurial blood in you like I do, I think, yeah, it's you have a good shot of doing things on your own and learning. The opportunity is there. You just gotta know how to do it. When it comes to capital, you can always start small and just grow. And being in the options market, you can blow up your account fairly quickly. I'm on the verge of that now, so we'll see. How much is math important in quant? Okay, that's from Ahmed Kaza. I think math is critical now. Yeah, going ham. Anyways, back to the math thing. I've been surveying that for a couple of days now. I wanted to see what it's important for people in quant, because there's three aspects to quant. There's the trading, programming, and math. The thing is, what people are, and from what I've seen online from the source that I got this, there's a huge demand for math, for sure. I mean, that's why I don't get into quant, because my math is like 1 plus 1 equals 3, right? So I'm not bad. But I do think with AI now, actually I posted a little blurb about it on my LinkedIn. I think what's going to happen is if you're weak in math, math is important, okay? It doesn't matter. If you can get yourself in the physics mindset, that's why a lot of the firms will hire physics PhDs, because how their brain works is because they are into solving puzzles, basically, and they create algos from it. They're the first hand-picked programs, highest priority. So math is important. And I think with AI now, with the programming end of it, that's going to get, I won't say less relevant, but math is going to be the important one. So I think if you get AI to generate your algos, which it can do, really advanced stuff, and I think there's two ways to learn. And if you're weak on coding as well, the best way is to let the AI generate it and then reverse engineer it. So that's where you learn your code. One of the other posts I put up on LinkedIn tonight is you will not need books, nor will you need third-party tools. And I say that again because you can reverse engineer on what's generated by really high quality, very advanced AI, and then you can learn from the coding from that. Where you really learn is when you start to debug it. And you can also same approach on algo development, strategy development, by debugging it and just stepping through a really good debugger on a good IDE. That's where you're going to learn, no matter what your level of knowledge is. Because I think that that's the best approach. And to have that skill will be incredible. And if you can now take that and put that on GitHub, or let alone, I'm starting to see, I'm like I said, if you want to get attention, be on LinkedIn. I'm like shocked on the people that are following that, We're not talking about, I'll say grunt workers, but juniors that are following me from these big firms I mentioned. These are director level, okay? And when you can get their attention and you become equivalent of a tastemaker at something, you get their attention. They start to follow you and they go, oh, interesting person, would you like a job? So for instance, when you get Herb Sutter of C++ fame with his books and stuff where he worked at Microsoft, and Citadel comes along and offers him probably a cool hardcore, like $1 million cash, he goes to Citadel. Same thing with John Fawcett, who's now, I think, at Citadel as well. And why is he there? Because he ran and founded Quantopia. So when you get to these sort of like entrepreneurial level mindset projects and get the attention of these high senior people, that's the approach. And if you have LinkedIn, I'm just shocked on how the kind of reach you have with LinkedIn. So yeah, it's possible. So we got something serious from our comedian here. And his name was Olad Rustad 5725. Damn, I need some basic surgery. Apparently my left knee grows faster. It's gonna, oh well, 1 + 1 in a quantum field vacuum would be 63.193. So this guy is obviously one of those brilliant people, and he's just, I don't know, doing whatever with this. But you can tell he's probably a smart guy. Anyways, Renaissance hired a lot of rocket scientists and physicists. Sounds intimidating for a layman like me, for Nuvi. Look, Nuvi, when I started doing these live streams, we had young people, like virtually kids coming out of Kenya, okay? They wanted help. They were so motivated asking questions in Kenya on how to succeed at this. So I made up my mission with these streams that if you're coming in from little people world like me, that's why I'm doing these streams, because I think you can not be downtrodden because of education. I'm saying that's important. I don't know your story, but I think with AI now, and now I'm just saying on the social LinkedIn thing, it's very possible to get the attention. And just got to know how to, quote unquote, brand yourself. And I think really what the important one is to have a track record. You have a project you want to do, make a trading system, start trading it, and where you want to go to be really taken seriously is futures and options, without a doubt. Get that up and running, and hopefully you can get it profitable, and then start talking about your track record, okay? And why this trade failed, why this one was good. Do that with a YouTube channel, let's say, and promote it through LinkedIn. Maybe put up a bunch of projects on GitHub. You will get attention, and you may get the right attention. And if you don't have the education, that they may overlook that if you're that good. Because why would a firm not want to take you on because you don't have an MIT degree? That'd be so dumb. But there are firms that are like that, like let's say Goldman Sachs. But I do know when you have companies like Jane Street, I don't think they care if you have an education or not. They want to see that you're proven, that you have a track record, and you have talent, and you showcase that through your marketing as a brand. And I think that is very possible. But what really shocked me in the last few days is the ability to reach people in these big firms and become equivalent of a tastemaker, and they follow you. So if they start following you, like your content, they get to know you because they're following you. So I do think that there is potential here. And as I said, there's certain firms, they don't care about your education. I do think Jane Street's one of them, and they're the highest paying one in this whole line of work is Jane Street and Optiver as well. Might try my luck with a family office. I think family offices are much harder to get into, Nuvi. From what I understand with family offices, they are very difficult to get into because it's all about trust and credibility. I came up with a playbook last week on how to reach these people, and I'll give you a little blurb on that. It's all about credibility. It's all about getting in their ear in person. So, dare I say this, but I got access to the agenda for Davos this year, which is in a couple of weeks in Switzerland, Davos, Switzerland, and everyone goes, "Ooh, don't whatever." But Davos, they have a private dinner for family offices, and it's by invite only. And there's a bunch of firms there that are spending a lot of money to get the attention of these family offices. So what I'm saying is, if you have the quote unquote connections to get into this, and you're willing to spend X amount of dollars to get access to these people and be part of these private dinners, like in Davos, that's the way to go. But again, how do you reach those? I do think you can maybe reach via LinkedIn as well, but they're not coming to you. They're as one of the AI responses says, HFT shops are not going on a Google looking for this and that. They don't do that. They will get to know you by either seeing what you're posting on LinkedIn, as I said, or more importantly, they're going to be part of something and somebody with credibility that they trust and name drop you. I think that is, again, a potential. But family offices are probably much more difficult to get into, to be honest. But if you build your own thing and market it through that, you have a fighting chance. And with AI, I'm just flabbergasted. People aren't using it as they should be, because the opportunities are now. But we will get to a point where everybody and their dog will be using AI and doing the same thing. So now's the time to do it and build your name instead of everybody else doing it in the next couple of months. And let's say Meta, right? Meta comes along and makes something like Manus free. So now everybody has the power of this AI and start posting all sorts of stuff that's now looked upon as quote unquote AI slop, right? So we kind of are on the border of that already to break through, but to get on the quant hedge fund side, the opportunity is there if you know how to do it and build it out ASAP. Sandeep Shyam Baba Vlog from country. I don't know what that means. Sorry. Anyways, going back to AI, there are bad things with AI. But if you know how to harness it, it's powerful. And you can do a lot with it when it comes to the quant modeling. On the math side, the coding side, I'm not worried about anymore at all, because it's so powerful it can do it. But as I said, when it comes to math can be done on AI. If you were a member of mine now, you would see the quality, high quality research papers I could pump out with all the formulas, and I could ask it to do proofing, and it's crazy what the math does, but it's no point in putting that out if you don't understand it. And as I said, that's my big thing now. I'm just moving everything over to C++ now. I don't mind C#, but I want to be with the industry standards, and that's going to be C++ and the math as well for the quant. And as I keep saying about the quant-like mindset and the HFT mindset with the C++ and the quant, and Python as well, knowing how to harness it, it's powerful. And you keep maintaining that mindset, you will get really good at what you're doing. And now that I'm seeing the math component to it, yeah, you can definitely have the power to put out what these quant researchers put out as well. I'm pretty confident in saying that. But to understand it, as I said, you get the AI to develop the algo, specifically maybe in C++, because that's what HFT shops are going to use, and then reverse engineer it through a debugger as well. That's the place to learn. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. So who's here still? If you got questions or comments, let me know. I think a lot of people, we had a good run there for since I started. I appreciate all that. But I think that's where we're at with the AI. It's very advanced, and it's leveling the playing field for a lot of people. And if people are going to get affected by the AI, the next best, you're going to have to become an entrepreneur and know how to market yourself online. And AI can do that for you, to give you the marketing plan, specifically if you're going to do it on X. Substack's getting really good now, so people may not never ever consider Substack for learning about trading, algo trading. There's a lot of quant stuff now on Substack, which is pretty good. Yeah, so there's that. Who do we have left? As I'm blabbing here, I don't know if people are wanting me to do a specific topic. I can do lives, like live streaming. I could do it through Zoom, and then do all kinds of crazy stuff on Zoom. Let's see if we build back up an audience. It was an amazing run. Maybe I talk too much. Let's see what happens here. If it's a short stream tonight, I'm okay with it. Greetings from Argatha Plazizna. Greetings. How can I help you out, my man? If you, or I would say my person. Let me know if you got a comment or question on the topic tonight. Will AI replace Quant? I'm happy to respond. We had a very good run up a while back, but just dropped off. I don't know. YouTube's very random. Who's got questions or comments regarding these topics of AI, algo, quant, high frequency trading, investing, economy? And I'm going to be hopefully next year traveling a lot and become an experienced person on that front as well. Let me know. Just sitting here waiting for comments. Oh, we got a Nuvi's back. Everyone is interested in algos, expecting more of an audience. Do you think it is the timing? You know, Nuvi, I don't know. It seems to be, we had a good run. If I turn my channel into a mathematical channel with algo development, yeah, I think we'd be a different audience. But right now, YouTube only gives me on high frequency trading stuff. But if I move it over into math, which there is a demand for, it's proven to me. So I'm going to focus more on that because everyone's doing their programming channel, but how many people are doing the math? Okay. Yeah, so let's see. Hello, Siraj Al-Rani. If you've got questions or comments, let me know. Yeah, hello. So as I said, math is an interesting area to go into now. I think that is something I'm going to be talking more about when it comes to the trading. I've already kind of figured out for the last, you do CPP. I don't know what that means. Oh, C+. Trying to. I started out for many years in C. Yeah, so I'm kind of moving everything back into C++. I just had a couple of projects on C#, so I'm trying to go more C++. When it comes to, everyone wants Rust, but a lot of the legacy APIs are still C++. That could be the biggest threat for a company like Algorithmic. If a firm doing what they do but brings in support for Rust, that could change everything for them. Because I know there's a huge demand for Rust. But yeah, I'm doing more C++, but there's so many ways you can do C++. I just did I don't know if I put up the project yet on Linux kernel bypass. I did a thing on that. Yeah, I did. That's posted on my LinkedIn a few days ago. That's what got quite a bit of attention from those big firms I mentioned earlier on this stream. Because I don't, yeah, you know, like the boards for FPGA are very expensive. The one that they recommend from the AI is about $5,500. So to build a direct market access server is going to run you about, cost you quite a bit, about $20K US. Siraj Al-Horni. Yeah, we can connect. Just go to my website, quantlabsnet.com. You can just join my email list and just send me an email, and I'll gladly follow up and see what you're after. No problem there. Because I can help out. I think also what I'm planning to do as well is to start helping people develop strategies. No problem, Siraj. Yeah, just get on my email list and email me. I can definitely respond. As I said, I think one of the areas I might look into is developing strategies for people. People don't want to, I hate saying it, don't want to learn and implement stuff. So they just want the push button stuff, and it's like a slot machine, and it goes ding ding ding, and out comes coins, like in Vegas or in a casino. That's what people want. That's the expectation. Because I think it all has to do with Amazon, with these buttons that Amazon's got. You link up your credit card, and you see something you like, you just push a button, and it'll be there in an hour via drone. So people have that level of expectation on so many things now. It's crazy. But I think it can be delivered thanks to AI. Yeah, and high quality stuff as well. I'm working with a couple of unknown LLMs, and I've tested them out, and they're probably better than Claude, dare I say. And the other thing is, the sources I use, with one of them from China, I don't know if you guys know about China. What they're doing now is they've got now, just like in the States, new decrees where they're mandating all the LLMs to for AI safety. So the quality of output will not be anywhere as good as it used to be. But the thing is, if you can get access to the older LLMs that were dynamite, thankfully, some people maintaining the Chinese ones, so they'll always be available. You just got to know where to go. Everybody's asking me, how do I find out? I'll be taking that to my grave. But there is that for sure. So I think the quality output's not going to be good. Well, it's already not as good as it used to be because of AI safety. Nuvi asks, what do you think about getting some HFT white papers and uploading it to Claude to come up with strategy? You can definitely do that. And as I said before, you can take those same strategies, or sorry, those same research papers and actually turn them into code. I've done that. We're already there. The key there you have to watch out for, you better know what it's doing. Because if you just like upload it and they get a bunch of code, and then you throw money at the strategy and it blows up, it could be a number of reasons why. And then people say AI doesn't work. Hacker Bora Bora, how are you doing? Welcome. I think are you living in Southeast Asia? In Bora Bora? I'm just dying to know. But as I said, when it comes to AI and using these strategies, like the code that's meant for HFT, you better know what it's doing. And especially if you're not technical and really good at your development skills, and that's going to come and things blow up. Yeah, it's because it's code generated by an AI, prompted by some human, doesn't know what they're doing, and then they say, yeah, AI doesn't work. So that sucks, because AI is good, and if you know how to use it, know how to qualify it, then yeah, it's great. So be aware of that. I mean, you can backtest it. That's what I do. As I said earlier, my process is pretty simple. Here's a data set. Give me some strategies, like whatever, quant-based or HFT-based. Do a backtest, do a walk forward, and show me which ones perform the best based upon that data set. The AI completes the background. Yeah, Bora Bora. It can also do the foreground as well, the forecasting, I guess you could say. We have to know how to code first before using AI. Yeah, that's kind of recommended. It's like becoming like a guy that stocks shelves at Walmart and coming in or flipping burgers at McDonald's and knows something called AI, and then they project themselves as an expert in something else. Yeah, because it will blow up. And if it's not, especially when it comes to coding, I've been hearing stories about people putting out these websites or these apps, and they build up all these things with it, and it blows up, and that's the end of that. And what's happening now, when coders can't get jobs, what they're doing now is that they're putting themselves out there as the expert to go through your code and fix your code when it's vibe coded and we can get it working. So that's how they're marketing themselves now. And I think that's probably the next wave of how programmers become relevant. to fix people's vibe coded stuff. So, and they ain't going to be cheap either. That I can promise you. So AI is good and bad, as I said. But yeah, I think you can learn via AI for sure, but you just got to put the work in to understand it. And the big one is to know how to reverse engineer whatever coding via an IDE. And once you start debugging it and working with it, we're not talking about an hour or two. We're talking day in and day out for many, many days, weeks, and live and breathe it to really understand what the AI or what the code is doing. And that's when it comes to multi-threading as well. So that's important. I get a good bias in USD Brazil pair. Yeah, that's because there's something called trend. It's the same with the Mexican peso. So when you have the trend, that's all fine. But what happens if we move in a world where there's no more trending instruments? How will you know what to watch for? So there is difficulty there for that. Nuvi, just to let you know, man, you're the #1 fan apparently, based upon your comments. Thanks for that. So who wants to be #2? I know Hakabora, you ask a lot of questions, so ask away, or anyone can ask anything regarding quant and HFT, high frequency trading stuff, programming stuff, investment stuff. That's what I'm here for, to do the whole thing. Our last stream last week, thanks to you, both of you guys that I mentioned, made the stream really good. And we went, 3 hours? So I came prepared. I got a Perrier and stuff. I got liquid as well. Sabs hablar español. I don't even know how to say no. Nine? German, or C, or Nisi. No, I don't know Espanol. I will say one of my first jaunts out will be in Latin America, so I am very interested to know Spanish as well. You can keep typing away, my man, and I won't understand it. And usually you'd see the translate. I'd be gladly to answer in English, but not seeing that as an option. What is your take for younger generations? I think it depends where they're coming from. Younger generations, specifically, as I said, as an example, when I started this out, I was like blown away that there's actually young folks out there in a place like Kenya, and they want to learn, they want to become really good at what they do. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of motivation there. What's happening now for young folks? They're having these relationships with these AI, and they're now, doing things where they don't want to, and then that brings in the AI safety. That's not how it's supposed to work. There are a lot of people out there that are highly motivated. Yeah, I didn't activate the translator. Sorry, Thomas Anderson. Maybe I should do that next time. But I'm an English speaking, and I should do that. But yeah, the younger generation, I think, have a lot of motivation. Some of them, not all. The thing is that some will complain, but yeah, like when you look at, if it was my grandparents have gone through World War I, World War II, and they had it rough. And here, there hasn't been a war in, 80 years? So things like that, with the technology now, everybody's got access to stuff to implement and go entrepreneurial. The opportunities now has never been easier to make good money right now. The problem, not the skills, now there's a problem of new idea pattern. Yeah, I think the thing is for Hacker Bora Bora, what needs to happen is you must have, okay, another guy. Anyways, the thing is, when it comes to skill development, I think you just look for patterns. I go through news feeds a lot. That's where I get my news from, and knowing that there's opportunities out there by going through news, it's great for idea generation. I don't know what you want to do with the ideas that you have, but that's one way is from from I don't know what your plan is, but news is good. Okay, Thomas, come back. My English is very basic. I understand very little what you say. Next time you should turn on the trends. I also need to learn English 100%. Let me just see if I have it here. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not seeing that option for translation. I guess what you can do is watch the stream. What you can do is watch the stream. If you got questions, comment. I respond to all my comments. And it could be any language. I know, is it Meta that does it? No, X or Meta does the translate button right there. So I can communicate back and then they can translate it. I've seen the translator apps. Wow, they're amazing. If you got a question, Thomas, just ask away as basic as you can. I'm always here on Tuesdays anyways. So if you got questions, any business ideas, that's what you come up with, Siraj. It's not my job to come up with business. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your hobbies are, but if you can turn a hobby into money, that's the way. That's how you build wealth. Or if you're passionate about trading, like I am, you can do what I'm trying to do. Some good questions here from Nuvi. The bigger firms have always had speed advantage over retail traders. With quantum computing around the corner, do you think they have another advantage just as they're using AI to catch up with them? As I said before, that's a good question. I think when it comes to speed and unique trading secrets that HFT firms have, the days are coming to an end for them because, as I said, AI is enabling you to see what they do and just catching the right moment when that happens, the right trend or whatever. So that's coming to, the secret sauce stuff is becoming, it's coming to an end, I think. But as I said, you got to be able to develop strategies that are self-adapting to the market conditions or be able to whip out live trading strategies based upon market conditions and market regime changes, which change so fast. So that's that. When it comes to quantum, I do know some companies like IBM have APIs into their quantum computing. I just can't remember, but if you look up one of the IBM ones, you may be able to get access to them and play around with those. So I'd recommend doing that because I do have a couple of AI projects based around Quant that kind of like looks at quantum. And I do remember, I think it was IBM that does have an API that you can get access to some of their resources of quantum computing. So again, I can't say until you yourself experiments with it. But it's available, that's for sure. Man, you seem really nice, Mohammed. Irish native. I'm interested to know what you guys are talking about. Well, watch more of the channel stuff. It's hard for me to start from beginning and start. I've been at it for 15 years. So for me to just start from the basics is very difficult. You just get in. And as I said, just kind of like implement stuff or pay attention to it. There's so many people doom scrolling now. It's like they'll give you 10 seconds and that's it. And if you never dive deep into something like this, you ain't gonna learn, which is sad, but I don't know much more I can tell you about that. Hacker Bora Bora, do you have satellite data access? Maybe factory supply chain data? No, I don't. Again, AI, as I said before, AI can give you, specifically when it comes to high frequency trading stuff, it will give you proprietary data feeds, very expensive, at least $500 a month. Maybe the highest I've seen is $10,000 a month. So if you get access to the CME or direct market access, there are certain proprietary feeds you get access to, and that would include the satellite. One of the AI does recommend some satellite data you can get, but either way, they're going to be very expensive. But I don't have supply chain data as well. But I'm sure you can get that through the St. Louis Fed because there's some data out there or commitment of trader reports. But again, it's not the same. But if you're doing that for fundamental reasons, like let's say agriculture or whatnot, just follow the data on Rhythmic in those spaces for the futures and options market, because those will already be bought in based upon volume on those kind of products that you're looking for supply chain data, and there's other secretive stuff that's quote unquote borderline legal that I've seen, but I don't expect me to get involved in that. Do you think trading indicators such as RSI, EMA, Bollinger Band are rubbish for trading? No, I don't. But that is the difference between retail traders and, as I said last week, the smart money and the dumb money. The smart money focuses more on the quant stuff, the quantitative, and more leading indicators, more forward-looking data, not what happened today or last week, because that's where the markets go. And as I said, one of the things that I've learned from some of these people is you always got to watch the data first and be able to predict where the markets go. So a good comparison is like if you're becoming a hunter and you're new at hunting and you want to shoot for a duck, don't aim where the duck is now. You have to aim and think and aim where the duck is going to be in a minute, and then that's your target. And trading's the same. You have to anticipate where certain trends will be, and that's what the futures market is. You're going to pay for this price, and you expect this trend to happen and profit from that trend, anticipating something in the future. That's why those are very important. But the RSI, EMA, and Bollinger is really for timing, for technical analysis. They're not rubbish. But if you're just using them exclusively, yeah, you won't make money, because those technical indicators are only for either what's happened or something in the past, but you have to use leading indicators. And they don't have lag as well. That's another problem. And technical indicators don't have that. But whereas the fundamental analysis is all about the future, especially if you're trading in the equity space, if that makes sense. Or it's going to be based upon supply and demand. If you're going to, I mean, what happened with silver? It dropped back a bunch, and now it's coming back. So there's always those type of what they call exogenous events where you don't see it and it can happen. So there's that. Suraj Horney says, I'm a renewable energy engineer with programming skills. What should I do? It depends on, well, you could go into energy. That's a good space to go into, but you want to go where there's volume. And right now, the volume will be eventually oil and natural gas. So that's the energy to trade. And as a programmer and specialize in those markets, specifically in futures and options, you can make a lot of money there. So if that's your education, let's say, that's probably what I would do from a trading perspective is to focus on the futures market. And the big ones obviously are gas, oil, and natural gas. That's a really good question, actually. Yeah, I like that. So Nuvi Comeback says, I saw the IBM quantum computing dealing with encryption, but I know trading isn't far behind. Yes, there's a lot of banks getting into quantum. That's going to be their new trading edge. It used to be high frequency trading. As I said, AI is changing all that and letting us mom, pa, schmuck people get access to it. But over time, I think some of the bigger firms like IBM will make those APIs available to the public, and I've seen them. You just gotta find them and whatnot. Okay. Oh yeah, people are always asking about the camera still. Haha, I'll try my best. Okay, market microstructure is important. Is an important trading indicator. Yeah, it is. Look for level 2. Again, you can get that through Rhythmic. Limit order book, you can get that through Rhythmic. If you can find them, code them yourselves. Yeah, I think so. But as I said before, we're coming into a world where you can feed it just data and ask for the right strategies and forecast and backtest it. I mean, and generate code from that. So I think we're Well, we are at that point now. So the hand coding is not needed anymore. You look like a nice guy to be watched by a hater like me. Oh, well, thank you, Ven M940. We had our share tonight already. We had them last week. So I'm going to wish you a good night instead of writing trolls. Good night, gentlemen. Well, that's pretty nice of you. I guess we got one person. Wow, they're respecting me because I just kind of, best way. As I say, don't feed the trolls. Yeah, don't feed the trolls. Yeah, there's a bunch of people that will lose their mind over these people. I don't know. They seem to be out there for fun of it. I don't know why. But they don't bother me at all. It's just whatever, dude. if that's your jam, that's your jam. But I'm just trying to help people with legit questions. But like, I don't know if you've seen some of them today. It was like, well, I lost my leg. One leg grows faster or something. I don't know. Probably on the stream or something. I don't know. Yeah. If you guys got any questions about what we're talking about, the API stuff, AI stuff. I used to be a troll. We're just bored. Oh, is that what it is? I used to be kind of like that as well. But as you get older, it's like you start to come to a point where you're going to be closer to death. And it's like, why bother? I think that's why you get a guy like Ray Dalio doing what he's doing, because he's in his 70s now and he's trying to help the world. And the funny thing is that he's making himself available. And there was one interview I saw him, and the guy just kept, what should I do? Like, why? Like, what do I tell my audience that's new to this? And it's like, no, Ray Dalio's not interested in talking about that. He wants to talk about what is all these principles and stuff. So, yeah. So that's why these guys make themselves available. But the trolls, they don't help their cause. And actually, some people are not very good at handling the troll stuff. But whatever. I mean, I don't care. Anyways, if you guys have got any other questions. So, judging from tonight, I'd say a good 30-40% are on doing whatever. But if Suraj says that they're bored, boy, oh boy. And some of them are pretty smart. I mean, like, it's pretty obvious. But, yeah, just the trolling is just not going to help you. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm actually internally laughing, but I have to be careful what I say on YouTube because you get punished otherwise. But whatever, I don't care. If you guys got, let's say, legit questions and stuff on quantum or whatever, we just need these guys from AQR to be like Ray and share some information. Yeah, I guess with the Ray thing, I think those opportunities are come and gone. What he's trying to do, he's trying to tell the world, saying we are now entering into a new phase of I'm trying to find the right word, where there's not going to be a lot of stability. And when it comes to trading itself, that's where the volatility comes in and the steep drawdowns that we can expect. And the other thing is the unpredictability. Look at the guys with the Bitcoin. All the Bitcoin bros, they're gone. They're all jokingly going back to McDonald's for their job. Would you have a salary or a commission? Serge, that's a good question. I don't want either. There's a better answer for that. Let's say tomorrow you want to go on a plane somewhere. That's more important to me. And being able to live like that, because you don't want to be bound or chained to a desk for a commission or salary and have true freedom. Because if you can't choose to get on a plane and do something else because you didn't want to work, because you always have people to answer to, I really don't want to live like that. I really don't. And I have that capability as well. As long as you have enough cash to keep your existence happening, you're all good. I hope that's a better answer for you. That's what I'd strive for. But I think that's the good thing about automated trading, that you can set up systems and have it trade for you, and hopefully making money and cash stream for you, or cash flow for you. That's the goal here. Ray Dalio has some very scary macro views. I hope they don't come true. Oh, they will come true. Oh yeah, they'll come true. It's just the question is, how do you circumvent yourself from it? I mean, look at AI. Everybody's all scared because they can't get a job. As I said, if you know how to harness it and build out automated trading as an example, like it's all there. The question is, can you take yourself to that point and as I said, generate cash for yourself so you have true power, not power, but freedom. True, but not all of us can achieve this. Suraj, come on, man. It's a mindset thing. You can't allow yourself to hold yourself back. You asked if you're a young person. I'm assuming you are. You take the risks now while let's say you're single, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a family. Do it now if you can. And go out all balls risk-wise. Because you can always recover. And don't ever stop to think you can't do it. I mean, no. We live in an era now where people with AI can do so much. Even for programming and everything. I just don't... I used to be that way too. And yeah, I used to be a troll myself. And if you can just shift yourself mindset-wise, and think of it this way, don't always focus on the problems. Always focus on how to either get around the problem or find solutions for the problem. Okay? I would not want to be the guy, the person crying in the corner, all curled up, bawling your eyes out. Okay? That's not going to help yourself or anybody. You have to be more of a problem solver, building things. And unfortunately, a lot of that's been taken away in how everything is now. But I think that's why it's important to have that entrepreneurial mindset. It doesn't have to be always automated trading, but I will say automated trading gives you a lot of potential benefits in terms of being true entrepreneurial and being truly free. Because once you are bound to or chained to a desk and you always have to ask for permission, that's what you want to get away from. You don't want to be always chained to something and you got to ask permission to do it now or next day. Because once you get into that, that's when you're limiting yourself. And you don't want to be limited, right? How can I start an automated trading? That's a popular question, and I've said that before. You just got to do it. You just got to learn the basics of technical analysis, learn Python, maybe learn crypto. You could start for $100. I went through that last week's stream. I'm kind of, that's all I can tell you. There's tons of resources out there. I don't know your skill, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to turn this into a automated trading course. Just go on my website, quantlabsnet.com. There's tons of resources there. I have courses. I've got programming stuff, TradingView, and that's where I'd start. Don't limit yourself, because the only thing is limiting is you. Like you're just like either lazy, don't want to do it, or you're just, I don't know what the problem is. But like we are in an era now where more billionaires are being created than ever. Like that Meta's purchase from Meta, they said that was the shortest time that a product comes out with no value and just got picked up a year and a bit later at $2.something billion. And nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. And, and then now they're getting all these unicorns, the $1 billion operations that is run by one person. That's because of AI. And they took it upon themselves to learn, implement, and took action. And it's not, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a lot easier than it used to be. In the last year, for 2025, I mean, my knowledge has skyrocketed. And the capabilities for me to sit here and say, I'm hoping to do math in the next few months. I never saw that coming until AI showed up. So I don't know. It's you that's holding yourself back. That's all I can say. I'm not here to be a motivational speaker, but there's no, I hate to break it to you, but there's really no excuse. Like, if people are going to live around expecting the government to pay them things, nah, they're not adding any value. They're just takers, right? unfortunately. As I said, if you got questions or comments on AI trading and stuff, like I can go on about where to start for Siraj. It's just the same thing I said last week. I mean, I'll gladly, the place to start, uh, if you got questions, let me know. Papi Gustav WY. Why what? Ooh, some of these trolls are nasty. Nuvi, the trading platform by default provide technical analysis indicators. Do you see a future where those are swapped out for AI models so the customers can pre-build models? That's just all marketing. That's all they're doing. That's what I'm saying with, thanks, Siraj, for subscribing. I got to go. I'll check your website. Okay. Yeah, so back to that question. A lot of these platforms are just putting AI out there for marketing. They're not helping a lot. The only way to where you want to use AI is use an API, work with the API, and then build AI around that or code around that using AI. As I said before, especially with Rhythmic, you're not limited what you can do with Rhythmic, and you're going to be in the next best venue without a trading platform. Lots of trading platforms give you access to Rhythmic, but the platform itself is going to give you all kinds of crazy restrictions of what you don't want. Yeah, so that's all I can say. I'm not saying don't use a trading platform if you're new to it. That's fine, but just realize in the long run, it's not about technical indicators and fundamental analysis anymore. You have to kind of understand the quantitative stuff. That's the end goal. Like Robin, I guess Robinhood AI models built in. Nuvi, please stay away from Robinhood. I think I mentioned this before. There's a reason why they have it commission free, okay, where you're not paying for commissions. Yeah. They, and among other firms, will sell your order flow to HFT shops. And why do you think the likes of Citadel are doing well? Because they're doing exactly, you just sell, that order flow is so valuable to them. Yeah, payment for order flow, you got it. So, yeah, don't go there. It's good to know about it, but don't go there, for sure. You're just going to get chopped up by the HFT firms. And that's why a lot of people go, oh, I'm always losing money, like what we had last week, and stuff. Wow. PayPal's warning me about some of these held back messages. They are nasty, man. Wow. I mean, people are mentally ill by putting this on YouTube. Like, really, like, seriously. If that's what you want, go for it. But these are either really mentally ill people. They need to get out more and bake it up in the sunshine and have a better look on life. And mommy's gonna be so proud. I gotta say. Anyways, if you got questions, let me know. Two of them dropped off. They ain't gonna bug me one bit. They just don't like to be called out, I guess. But some of them are just, wow. Oh, maybe one of them gave me a like. So, yeah, if you got questions, let me know. I mean, I'm glad to be here and help you out. This is 90 minutes in, and that's fine. I have no problem with it. But, man, these trolls, like, they got big time, you know, I don't know what to say. Anyways, if you guys got legit like questions, I'm glad to type them up. I think these people are just angry and they see something like on this topic. Will AI replace Quant? And I don't know. I do know when some of these people get angry, as I mentioned, the horse and buggy people, and their job is on the line and they're going to lose their mansion, McMansion, their Ferraris because AI comes along, and they get mad at it. Well, that's just the way it goes, doesn't it? Oh, Thomas asks, what do you think of platforms like MetaTrader? It's no different than what was said about Robinhood. The retail Forex is not the place to be, Okay, that's where the not smart. I'll just say not smart money goes. They end up losing a good chunk of money. So you want to stay away from those platforms, those brokers. If you go with interactive brokers, that's fine. They're good for that's accessible and legit, and they don't do the order flow, sell the order flow, payment for order flow, as Nuvi's identified. A lot of people don't know this, and they'll go, "Oh, trading doesn't work." Well, yeah, it's like AI. If you're not using the right LLM, not knowing how to prompt it, it's not going to work. Of course not. So then you blame the whole thing, and it's a scam. It's like, no, it's not. Lots of people are making a lot of money because of AI. I'm sure of it. They're just not sitting there bragging about it with an Instagram account. So, as I said, if you guys got questions or comments, let me know. I don't mind being here. But back to the topic, will Quant or AI replace Quant? I mean, I've already talked about it. I think AI is going to have a lot of impact on people, specifically in Quant, specifically in high-frequency trading. I am confident to say I don't think we really need books anymore. I don't think we need third-party tools anymore, expensive ones. And they're just looking for suckers to pay them out. The problem is that you get people that come and go and never put the work in, that don't implement anything or don't take action, but yet they'll be sitting in a corner crying like a little, because they don't want to put the work in. That's the truth. And that's the direction we're going in. Oh, we lost more people. Fancy that. Yeah, so if you guys got any other questions, let me know. I don't mind. I think I got my Perrier here. So if you guys got questions, let me know. And I'm not trying to be brutal. I want to save people the time and the energy. As I said, there's a lot of people, let's say with Bitcoin now, they really think Bitcoin's going to come back. I'm not saying it won't, but yet on the other hand, they'll put money into Bitcoin, but look at silver and gold, what it's done. You got to know that. So Thomas asks, what are your thoughts on the inverse correlation between gold and the dollar index and the inverse correlation between VIX and the US 30? Those are easy trades. They do exist. They're valid. But again, like I said, some of those can get thrown out because of what happens in the markets. Definitely the VIX and the US 30 or anything where the markets are expected to do well, like specifically the stock market, they go down, then VIX goes up. That's why I say VIX is a great metric to trade when the markets go down. That'll be probably one of the best unknown instruments to trade. And the best way to trade it is, again, through futures and options. So that's a good one. Dollar index and gold. Yeah, there is definitely an inverse correlation there. But remember that U.S. dollar is dropping off because the U.S. dollar is in competition with the new up-and-coming monetary systems, be it gold, be it Bitcoin, but specifically what the real threat is what China is doing with the BRICS, with the Brazil, India, Russia, China, and South Africa. The original, where they're trying to build an alternative system that's not pinned to the U.S. dollar because, if a country doesn't like you, specifically the U.S., they can just sanction you, and then you're stuck on the U.S. dollar, and then what? That's why I'm very interested how people like that are banned in China, how do they survive? Or how do the people in Venezuela survive? They survive because of, as we talked about already, the stable coins of the USDC from Circle. And that's how they survive. But they'll get regulated to death, and what are these people supposed to do after that? So those exist. But that's why the US dollar is really falling, and national debt. That nobody wants to talk about it here, but that's okay. It's the fallacies out there online. It's pretty crazy. So if you guys got comments or questions, let me know. Thanks for asking your questions, Thomas. I appreciate your language challenges. I just wish I could help you out with I don't see any translate options at all. Again, Nuvi69 asks, AI models get you into the trades. How are you managing your deltas with your option trades? That's the hardest part of trading. Managing the open positions with the option trading. There's a couple of ways to do it. You can use classic technical analysis. You can use average true range as an example to kind of circumvent the volatility, unpredictability. But the best way to handle it is let's say, and this is I learned from a very, very lucrative trader, automated trader. He told me our goal is to make, let's say, 1% a day, 2% a day. If you set your trades, like especially in the options market, including that, you can say, okay, if this trade, like in the options market, whatever asset class, hits a certain point on that goal, close down the trade. And then you hope that more and more of those same trades will get you to your goal. So some will set a target of 1%, 2% a day. And there's a good probability of that, because what happens is if you're trading, let's say, some unpredictable crypto specifically, and you see crypto doing really well, and this is now from a technical analysis point, and then you see it hit a point and it just sits there and just starts to churn. Once you hit that point, you have to ask yourself, when the probability or statistics comes in, what's the probability that's going to go higher, or what's the probability it's going to go lower? And usually the probability will be a lot higher that's going to start to lose money because you hit that peak in that trading opportunity. So the easier way to do it is to set targets for yourself on open positions. And then hopefully you can watch those trades. Once they hit a certain target, close them. And then you add on more positions on that opportunity. And hopefully those trades, those positions will meet their targets and just close them out, because that's kind of the way I did it with the Bitcoin, because and it helps obviously to have the trend in your favor, because if you're in a flat market where it's just like mean reverting, or obviously if you're in a falling knife market, you don't want to have pretty well, unless you're an expert of some kind in those market conditions. But that's why I like, and most people will tell you that's why they like trend following, and you have open positions. Set a target, and then figure out what your daily target will be. If it's 1%, 2%, if the markets are really good, you're happy with, you can up it. But it really comes down to the market condition. The other way to do it is a lot of math involved to manage those as well. I haven't really looked into them, but again, I'll be digging more into that as I get there for sure. You asked another question. 1% is achievable. The implied volatility will give you very high to get 2%. Volatility in general is low at the moment. Yeah, it depends what your, hello, Mr. Taka from Russia. It depends upon the conditions. Look at gold. Gold's got a very low volatility and it's just up and up and up. Same with silver. So there's a lot of high momentum, low volatility instruments out there. Obviously, the best ones right now are the precious metals, and platinum and copper did well up until today or yesterday. But I think gold will still, like, it's a predictable story, right? So if you know gold is going to continue to move up because of the way the world's moving and, traditional fiat and all that, maybe gold is a very predictable one. Not saying go all in with gold, but the AI is not saying negative things about gold, but it's saying, yeah, silver, platinum, copper is a risk. And the reason why it's asking or saying that is because there's an industrial processing a component to those metals. And if the economy tanks where those metals are no longer used in the economies, they will fall in value. But gold won't. Doesn't mention anything like that with gold. because there's not a lot of industrial use for gold. So when it comes to predictability, gold right now is the hot one. Atomics, don't worry about your ignorance, but AI could be used to build a model to compare the inverse correlation between two instruments, gold versus DXY. Yeah, you can. You can also use AI to find trends, just generally. And then, as I said, you can use AI to look for short-term or long-term trends and forecast it based upon data you provided. And then you can use AI to do all your back testing for you. So it makes your job a lot easier. And I've talked about back testing before AI existed. But with AI now, you can easily do a lot of back testing via AI. The best one I keep saying is to use Claude. There are other ones as well. DeepSeek is a good one because DeepSeek was built by a quant firm. But I'm just finding DeepSeek's falling behind now compared to something like Claude. You just got to have the right LLM and the right prompting. And then the world is your oyster, as they say. So let me know if you got further questions. This is great. I like talking about this. If Mr. Taka wants to ask a question, how's life in Russia? I hear the ruble is now the strongest currency in the world. People don't like to hear that. But again, I'm open to things like, this is another thing I need to say. If you add in, I watch about 170 assets, big ones. These include the Russian ruble. This includes a Turkish lira. This includes the Saudi, is it the real, and Brazil real. I can't trade yet on the UAE dinar. So those are sort of things I'm open to. And there's opportunities there. New VS, we all have an idea, but no one knows for certain. Gold will still prefer a delta neutral option strategy and delta hedge to stay neutral in terms of direction. Yes, but you have to factor in the other story of gold is people are piling into gold, obviously, as I said, because of the concerns of where the markets are at, the dollar's at, because everything usually would be treasury and dollar people would be diving into. But because of the debt level of the U.S., that puts the dollar and treasury at risk. And what do you have left? It would have been Bitcoin, but it's proven this year that Bitcoin's not performing. So the only other thing you really have is gold. And that's why gold is doing what gold is doing. I think there's still other instruments out there that could do well short term, like treasury. I'm interested in trading mean reverting for treasury. I would trade it, but the problem is the range that it could trade in is not wide enough. So there's no opportunity in treasury right now. So ICT is king. Oh, our inner circle guy. There's a lot of stories there with that guy. He's doing well, but I know why he's doing well out there on online. But I've watched him a few times, but inner circle trading, I don't know. I haven't watched him lately. There's a lot of people out there that can do stuff, but ask for trading records. Yeah, gold is a crowded trade. What happened to silver when they changed the margin requirement? That could happen to gold. Yes, it can happen to any of them. But look at what happened with gold today. It jumped up again. So most likely it's going to fully recover. Gold got dropped as well a few months ago, and it dropped quite a bit. It's fully recovered and still moving up. And it's a 4,400. Now they're calling for 4,500. They're calling it for a 5,000 or maybe a 10,000 level. And there's more legitimacy to that now than Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin, they're saying, oh, it'll be 100, 200, 250,000. Yeah, it did get up to 120,000 and change, but look at where it's at now. So it will come back. If you're into crypto, the one I keep saying to watch is the private coins. Like Zcash and Monero. Like they are trending in the world of crypto right now. for the same reason as gold, because they're not traceable. But yet they pose a big risk, as I said on my LinkedIn, because the governments are scared of them. They'll regulate them out, and Australia's done that as well. So there's that risk. But with gold, I think gold is at risk too. Look what they did in the 30s. They just basically repossessed all people's gold. Because why? Because they don't want people to do well in life. They want to have them hobbled and dependent upon the government, basically. Canada's like that. I can give you many examples. So Thomas came back on a demo account. I've been able to grow accounts from 100 to 40,000, simply considering the inverse correlation between gold and DXY. I'm not sure if this is possible on a live account. The only thing I can say is just try it. Put some small amount of money. There's probably a lot of legitimacy to it. But on the other hand, you could look at a trend like a lot of people don't know, but look at US dollar and Turkish lira. That's been going up like crazy for the last couple of years. But nobody knows about it. No one does anything about it. So if you want to make money, that's a good trade right there. And then again, that's USD and Turkish lira. And the difference between the yen, which is the yen, or the Bank of Japan purposely allows the yen to depreciate because it's a carry trade for them. Whereas the Turkish lira, that's a fundamental problem they got. So that may not change. I don't know if the bank of or the Turkish central bank can do anything about that trade because it's very expensive. But in terms of if you got what you think is a potential strategy or a relationship, trade it with live money. Start small, and then grow it and scale it. But don't bet the farm on it. I know he has language challenges there. Maybe you can watch the stream in his language, because I know YouTube can do that, or it's coming. Yeah, so if you guys got any further questions, let me know. Even on the programming, because, as I said, I'm moving everything over now to Python and C++ as well. So I'm doing for sure. Because that's where the world is. If you want a good job in this field, specifically in, let's say, high frequency trading firm or some kind of hedge fund, a lot of it's most likely going to be done in C++. And yeah, Rust is an up-and-comer, no doubt, but it's not in the mainstream yet, but it will be in the next few years for sure. But C++ is, if you want a job now, I strongly recommend learning both Python and C++. So yeah, just the top two languages right now if you want to get in this field and do well. But let me know. If you got questions or comments, let me know. Oh boy, I came prepared. And it's non-alcohol. Maybe I should get myself on a boozy woozy and talk like one of those trolls. they're like, I don't know if you guys saw some of the stuff. It was crazy. Crazy troll talk. If you guys got questions or comments, let me know. I'm glad to be here to help you out. Yeah, I'll be here for all the Tuesdays as I can. January might be one day, but I'll put that on my YouTube channel, the post, let you know what's going on, or subscribe to my website at quantlabsnet.com. Boy, oh boy, we had some good numbers tonight at the beginning. I was like really surprised, but I don't know what the percentage of them are, those troll people, but boy, oh boy. Yeah, so let me come back to what Nuvi said about gold. Yes, it is a crowded trade. That's why ETFs exist. That's what the easy money people, the less sophisticated people in trading would trade. So there's gold everywhere. There's the miners. I think is it number 2 asset now? I know US dollar is number 1. And silver is pretty big now because of the value of it. But gold is right up there on the paper trading. And nothing's stopping you. Like there's no limit on the amount of future contracts you have or options when it comes to any of them. And it's for the better too, because the more that's trading it, the higher the more the volume, the higher the trade potential with it, because the volume's there. I mean, I've looked at some of the other ones. Like a good example of that is the Mexican peso. As I said, if you look at the Mexican peso in the futures market, which is in US dollar, you take a look at that, you'll see there's no volume on it at all up until late November, and then boom, it started to pick up. And as I said, there's a fundamental story to that, which is there's not a lot left to trade. People don't want to trade euro, US dollar, so they're looking out for alternatives. And Mexican peso has been moving. And then there was a Brazilian real, as I said, as well. But yeah, Mexican peso is an interesting one to watch. Ruble, the Russian ruble's kind of interesting, but it's very volatile. The AI says don't trade it at all. And I'll probably stick with that. But yeah, let's say everything goes bad, you still have currencies. You know, and as I said with the other previous guy, I think the Swiss franc's interesting to watch. Like with the yen, everyone thinks that Bank of Japan's done with the yen. They just announced in the last 24 hours that they haven't even started on the intervening by raising interest rates. They're not done. So that still is a risky move right now. But short term, it can be okay. It's no different than the Treasury. You know, I don't think the U.S. government's going to blow up the next couple of months. So short term, Treasury is fine, I think, and so on and so forth. Long term, I wouldn't touch it, and a lot of countries aren't, and I'd probably treat it the same way. But there's some volume on Treasury. It's bizarre. There's not a lot of volume on stuff out there. You know, like the British pound was some volume, Canadian dollar had volume, and then the one I would be looking at, to be honest, in all of this is the Australian dollar. And the reason is that because as I did one report from this meeting, was the Australian dollar's going up in value because China is now importing a lot of their resources from Australia, be it iron's a big one, copper and natural gas coming out of Australia, and the Australian dollar and the economy picks up because of that. So Arpar asks, what the heck is Quant? I don't even know how to explain what Quant is, to be honest. I mean, there's technical and fundamental analysis, but Quant's more math-based, scientific-based type of analysis, where they use mathematics, pure math, to forecast the markets with, is the easiest way to explain it. Examples like Sharpe ratio or Sortino or Kalmar as metrics, but you don't see that with technical analysis or fundamental. A good example from a portfolio perspective using Quant, I'd be looking at things like percentage of drawdown. You want to obviously not have high drawdown on certain things you trade with. So I don't know, is that called Quant? Volatility is another big one. It goes deeper than that with the options market. Implied volatility, as somebody mentioned. Oh, thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. The trolls are back. They're awesome. Thank you. Mom would be proud, I'm sure. Anything else? You should see what comes up on my YouTube feed or my Meta on my feed. I don't know. Some of it, we've heard this before. Yeah, we've heard all this before. Yeah. Anybody else got any questions or comments on the Quant stuff? Yeah. Yeah, we got one of them's back again. They're awesome. I don't know. What's the percent of all the comments you think are haters? Yeah, they're. I mean, they bring comedy to the conversation. Yeah, Yeah, exactly, Nuvi. I agree with you because there are serious folks like you. Don't worry. This is not going to scare me off. It's just these are, as I said, these are mentally ill people. I wish I could help. They're probably hopping on their antidepressants that mommy forced them to be on. Probably. I don't know. Yeah, so you guys can see the comments too. I don't know if you guys can see the ones that YouTube holds back. I was looking at a few, and they are like, wow. I'm sorry that you have to go through this. But oh yeah, he must have. I think this guy just dropped off. The person dropped off. You know, it doesn't bother me one bit. If you got any questions, Nuvi, or I don't know if the Bora Bora guy was still on, but by all means, yeah, your questions are good, very good, in fact. Hopefully, you're implementing some stuff that I'm helping you with. When you get that other guy, what was his name, Surat? You know, he asks all the questions, drops off, doesn't hear what he wants, because I could sell him on stuff. Say, hey man, you want a Ferrari? Yeah, just here, buy this $20 course, and you'll be a millionaire. And if I did that with every single one of them, I'd be a millionaire too. But I'm not hawking crap like that. I've got better things to do. And then there's a lot of people out there that like to cheat people. That's fine. I don't care. But if you guys got questions or not, because I could turn one of my projects into the Rhythmic and put a video on that. That takes a while with Rhythmic. If you guys got questions or comments, let me know. Yeah, so I just saw I'm up to 10 likes, now I'm back down to 9 because I made fun of a poor one of those troll hater guys. Hey Brian, this is from Wandrex. Never joined the started following you as I was on my own quest to do algo trading. I'm glad you are also found your way and doing well. That's a interesting one. I've always been a programmer since I've been 14 with something called the VIC-20. That's a predecessor before the Commodore 64. I go way back to the early 80s. So that's how I became into the technology. And yeah, all my life I've been doing it. But with the AI now, it's putting everything on steroids. So, and to tie it in with trading, hello. Because if you're passionate about that and you can turn a hobby into making money, damn son, you know, so why not? Glad you're here. If you got questions, let me know. Nuvi, I don't know if you're still here or whoever else. Yeah, so welcome. I'll welcome the serious people, not the. I think we had three troll people that relented, and I didn't know that, but they take back their likes as well. That's bizarre. I was wondering, how could you grow the audience for these live streams? I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I kind of learned how to do that. What a lot of the gamers do is they analyze their stats to the T. What they'll do is they'll get a stream, like for example, they'll watch a short and they analyze it, and like it'll drop off, and then they'll figure out why it dropped off, and they don't do those things anymore, why it dropped off, and that's how it grows. And YouTube likes to see people, all this positive stuff and building people up, and that's the sort of thing that YouTube promotes, among other things that I won't get into, but yeah, there's a bunch of factors as well. So I'm obviously not doing anything right, but I got a life outside of YouTube. So I'm using this just to build an audience and then hopefully get them on the website. Yeah, so Nuvi, you also mentioned you want to hear from others as well. Yeah, a lot of other people, like you've heard tonight, you've been on the other one last week. There's a lot of beginners, but what separates, as I would say, the boys from the men, is exactly doing what you're doing. Now, I don't know what you're doing outside of these streams, and I think, was it Thomas? He sounds like he's trying to do a lot of stuff, and I think you're trying as well. But the difference between me and these other so-called bigger traders, because I haven't taken action by throwing money into it. And as I said, I'm on the verge of that now. And the other thing they won't do is show you their track record. So I'm hoping to do that as well. And that's where I think the growth comes from, is you have the so-called receipts, the social proof, the social receipts to show your trading results. And if they're doing things like beating the markets, and you got proof like with the software trading journals that are out there, that's where the growth comes from. So one day I'm hoping to be there too. But I appreciate you being here regardless. I think it matters. But as I said earlier, where my growth seems to be growing is LinkedIn lately. I've got things I could throw up. That I had one that went up to, I think, close to 12,000 impressions. I had another one got up to 22,000 impressions, and I never got that. Like, YouTube doesn't give me that. So that's where I think my growth will be, because I'm now starting to see it on LinkedIn and Twitter, Meta, all them now. I can't take audiences from TikTok seriously at all, but the best audience for me has always been YouTube and now LinkedIn as well. But everything else is just, whatever, These are people like just coming in and they'll be on the next shiny toy in 5 minutes. And then that's all they're doing, just chasing shiny toys. You know what I mean? So if you guys got questions or comments as well, like I said, part of the other thing is the consistency of being on a schedule, being on a Tuesday night at 7, here I am talking to people, 2 hours now, 3 hours last week, and that's how you grow as well. And I don't know, it looks like I'll have to deal with these trolls, because once the live's done, these comments are not seen outside of the stream. But they're funny, they're entertaining. That's all I can say. But I didn't know they take back their likes. But they don't stick around. And they never do anything with themselves, unfortunately. They just don't act, they don't implement. I don't know their story, I really don't. So if you guys got any other questions, comments, let me know. I don't mind being here. I want to hear more from others. Yeah, we already covered that. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. That's why I'm doing these streams, because I like to hear people's stories. I like to see consistency from people. On the messaging, it's kind of weird, because people will tell me that they're making 100 grand, 200 grand. I don't know what to believe online. So I put them on a test. I say, okay, email me, because I don't want to jib-jab on, let's say, YouTube or LinkedIn. So email me. They never do. So that's my BS test now. Because if they want it to be serious with stuff, they come into my ecosystem. YouTube could shut this down, or any of the social media could shut all this down. But nobody could shut down my website or my presence, my audience. So I'm just here to get everybody over there. You know what I mean? Give them a little bribe, they take it, and after that, I don't know what they can do or not do. So whatever. But part of the challenge is having the trading activity, the trading logs. And then everybody wants to be your friend, and everyone wants to learn. And well, now you got to pay $10,000 to get access to what I put out. That's what it costs. And I know I don't need to lower it for anybody, because now, as I said earlier, I'm bringing in the followers from the likes of BlackRock, the likes of Citadel, and I'm building an audience with State Street and other big firms too. So they will be out there as well. Nuvi, I forgot to answer your question. I just built an ML model based on XGBoost in testing phase at the moment. I'm looking at Algorithmic WebSocket for faster execution. That's where I am. Dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yes, I've seen XGBoost mentioned a lot on the AI, but don't stop to think that that's exclusive. I mean, that's one of the options out there, and there's others, but that's a great start. Keep doing that. Get your rhythmic together, and that's the key to your world. And depending upon your account size you want to start at, you can grow it very quickly. But as I said, if you follow that method and then build out something using Rhythmic, I don't know. I put out an article and asked the AI who uses Rhythmic, who's in the Rhythmic ecosystem. And a lot of people don't know, but the ones the likes of Citadel used to be on it. They still trade on Rhythmic. There's companies like Jump Trading, HRT. What else was there? I have a whole article on it. A lot of HFT institutions are on Rhythmic and CQG. That's where they start. And, they want to do direct market access. They lease the hardware from, I don't know if it's a sister company, and that's how they build. And, these are multi-billion-dollar firms. So they build out their own set of servers, or rack of servers, really. That's where the scale comes from. They build out their own technology, like with what Citadel's done with their microwave, and the CME is all over it and implements it, and they make those same services available to other folks. You just gotta pay. You got $12,000 for a year contract. You can definitely do that and have the same sort of advantage. Why not? I thought these guys were on microwave technology. They are. A lot of them are, but there's a lot of medium firms on smaller firms that are still and cannot move into the realm of Citadel, let's say, because they don't have the account size. But I'm sure they're doing okay with what they have, be it Rhythmic or CQG. And some of the big firms will only use banks, like was it? Yeah, JP Morgan are out there. I don't know what they charge, but it gives you access. Yeah, you can get the same if you have a large account. You have a couple of strategies that are performing really well, that you can pay for these expenses. Definitely. And the benefit is scary. Like if you get something that does really well, you could easily scale it into the millions weekly. It's nuts out there what you can bring in. So I don't know. Got a second person come in. But you can see already, like what I said earlier about people coming in and out, they just give you attention of a minute and then they're on to the next shiny toy. I don't even know what their goal is. So the key to doing it all is to implement like what you're doing. I salute people like you that are committed and are actually doing it. And taking action. Once you start doing that at a younger age, because there was that question about younger people, and what I've been going on about people chasing shiny toys and not really getting anywhere. That's what I don't like about the youngins, and just generally people. Everybody does it, but there's that odd gem out there that will implement and take action, and they blaze their own trail. I got a guy I'm following on LinkedIn. He's 18. He's now built up a LinkedIn profile within a year of 30,000 people. So he's got all these new contacts on LinkedIn. You could probably easily find a quant-related job because of it. Or, as I said earlier, there's Quant Beckman. I don't know who he is. All I know is he's out of Spain. And he's building up a huge presence on LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and Substack. So, but he's not, he's just posting stuff, right? And there's PyQuant News is another great example, but they're not showing actual trading. Like they go on about stuff, which is fine. But what are they doing in terms of trading? Are they have an account? And how's that working? What are they doing to make themselves profitable? That's what people want to see. That's where the value comes in, the real value. But not just some, which I've been also guilty as well, just posting stuff. You have to actually take action and showcase your live trading and the results. And in fact, have it verified somehow, credible or not. And once you start doing that, then people will start really taking you seriously. but then they want to leech off that, and they're expecting you to pay for it and give it away for free. And that ain't how the real world works. So what you're doing, Nuvi, is, yeah, like you're like a diamond in a gold mine, or diamond in the rough. You got trolls out there. They like something, and you I guess you indirectly call them out, and they take away your like. So that's your general competition. I could go on and on about that, but I'm here to help people, and hopefully, I think that I'm helping you. You're on the second. I don't know how many streams you've on, but I definitely know you by name now. And hey, congrats! You're my #1 top fan tonight. I think you were on top fan last week as well. So you're asking all the right questions, implementing everything, and you probably will benefit in life. And you'll be one of those, I don't know, not a top 1%er, but because you took action, the results show. From what I have seen, people jet draw by live trading. But sometimes that brings in the wrong crowd. They want the cash, but not willing to learn. Exactly. It's the same with quant traders. They think, oh, I can make $500,000. For what? They don't realize that they're going to be the trading firms. I don't want to servant. I don't know, but you know what I mean. But you're going to be on their beck and call, and you got to have results. They get rid of you. They don't sit around and hope that you come up with a trading idea. And even if you do get an amazing trading idea, you got to do that consistently. That's why I can't remember the guy's name. The Japanese hitter with the LA Dodgers. He's the highest paid player in the major leagues. He's like $100 million per season. And why is he paid that? Because he consistently produces. He's constantly producing home runs. And it's the same thing in the world of trading. If you want to be paid in the millions, you got to have two things. You either got to showcase to a firm that you bring in revenue because of your trading chops, and that's fine, but they could still get rid of you. That what they want is to see you go into management and lead a trading desk of people and mentor people to be like you and to become adding more value. That's how these firms will keep you. And that's why you keep hearing about, and I say all the time, the best place for trading is to be a portfolio manager. So you have to have all those skills. Quant stuff, you have to have the tech, and you have to have the math. But once you get and survive all of the drudgery of it, you can go into very high multi-million-dollar pay packages because they've hazed you, I guess you'd call it, and you survived. And that's where you want to go, the portfolio management. Nuvi says, I've been on all the longer streams. I was on the first 3-hour stream under a different name, Money Maker. That's great. I'm glad you're here, man. At the end of the day, as long as you're here and taking action, and not just me, but other people that you're interested in, and whatever value you get on them, you're implementing stuff. That's a rare trait, and you actually start producing. But everyone wants stuff for free and blah 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 blah, and they just do the doom scrolling or whatever, and just this one stream with the various people that have been on and off asking how do I get started and blah blah blah, and it's like, well. There's a lot of reasons why you're kind of like a failure in life, and then you get the other bunch that all they do is just sit on YouTube and just putting out all this bizarre stuff as comments, thinking ha 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 ha, and they just, I don't know, look like idiots, and they're coming from a bad place, and that's the general population, right? So for if you're implementing stuff that you like. And doing and actually seeing results with it, continue it, because you're one of the rare breeds, and those are the kind of people banks and hedge funds and the like want. And if you produce and successful, you continue to go up the ladder and you go into those realms of high paying results. And those are the kind of people that these firms want, that produce and they're successful at it and just live and breathe this stuff like yourself. That's the important one. And people don't get it. which is fine. They'll just sit at home or whatever and mope and woe tie me and cry and blah 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 and not go anywhere in life. But when you get a guy like yourself, as well, Nuvi, you're definitely a rare one. So we got a new guy, Mr. Taylor, 92. Are you a quant? I don't know if I call myself a true quant wannabe. Sure, quant. I don't know. That's a stretch. Like a real true quant. That I know people that do this. They're rare. They're rare to actually make money. They're not going to be online promoting stuff. They're doing a job, and I know a few of them that do the real job. But I like doing what I do. What is a true quant? True quants are educated people with probably a PhD working in legit banks. I don't know. We probably had a couple of people already that come from that world, and I wouldn't know if they are in that world or not. But generally, yeah, they exist. And as I said earlier, some of them from big firms are on LinkedIn. But that's a true quant. Is PhD, math involved, love the trading, using the programming to automate those trades. That's kind of like a combination of quant. Again, we got another friend. Okay. Cool. Do you run a lab? No, I don't. It was funny because I didn't know, but I have other moderators out there. Do I run a lab? No, but I do a lot of experimentations. Does that mean I run a lab? But I do a lot of posting stuff for my membership, a lot of stuff. And call that a lab, I guess. But you got to figure out what's profitable or not. So we're about to test all that very soon, very, very soon. All based upon AI, based upon quantitative stuff. So we'll see. So that's for you, Mr. Taylor 92. You know, you could be on this forever. Nice vibe coder here. Nothing wrong with vibe coding, but you have to go in with the mindset that you can't run a coding business or a tech business if you know nothing about programming. It'll blow up, unfortunately, in your face. I think. But there are those coders that can't find a job. They'll gladly help you out, but they'll charge you a pretty penny for whatever you need fixing, especially if you go live and got paying customers. I've heard the stories, read the stories. And then if you have VC, like venture capital going in there and the thing blows up because you don't know what you're doing, prepare for a lawsuit. So always remember that too. So it's important to know that. Any else got any questions or comments? I was just doing a rant about stuff. I don't know. Just watch the stream again once it's available. Yeah, Mr. Taylor says I hear it on X. Have you been in contact with Ernie recently? Ernie Chan, interested to see what he's working on these days. What you could do is just follow him on LinkedIn. Like he's been traveling. I know he was in Brazil doing a talk. Of course, he was in the UK doing one. So follow him there. He's pretty easy to approach as well on LinkedIn. Not sure on the X, but yeah, you can definitely keep tabs on him on LinkedIn. Is that place heaven? Can you please tell Jesus I was supposed to become rich this Christmas? What happened to my prayers? Well, as a practicing Christian, I will tell you, God is not a slot machine. No, man, you gotta be serious. As Hulk Hogan would say, eat your vitamins and say your prayers, and be serious about it. God's no slot machine. I hate to disappoint you. If you think you do, you need to get better guidance out there. Unfortunately, God ain't no slot machine. That's the same. That's any of the part of that trilogy. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people like that. That was from Goskell OK Lee 3 Lum. I don't know. Are these automated? I don't think they are. I'm really starting to wonder from earlier, but they did respond with nice words and trying to make me lose my my little. It doesn't bother me one bit. That's a good one though. That one I like. That one I like. On God and Jesus and all that. Yeah, we came all through that. I could tell you stories there, but I won't. It's not the place for it. But you guys got any other questions or comments at all? Yeah, coming back to vibe coding, I just don't think that's like trying to say you learn how to build a house from a computer, and then you move in and you get all serious with the house and it falls apart. I wonder why. You know, there are people out there that go out and get licenses for certain things, and coding's no different. It takes a lot of practice to become a full-on coder and understand how software works. And it can take a long time. But again, I've been saying earlier, yeah, you got to have a passion for the whole thing of, let's say people want to go into high frequency trading and make their millions of dollars. Well, you got to be pretty good in math, you got to be pretty good in coding, and more importantly, you got to be really good in trading. So it's a very tough field to be in, but it can be done. The problem is, are you willing to learn and implement and actually put live money on it and grow an account? And that's even harder because you learn all this stuff. Once you go live with open positions and stuff, that's a whole nother world. And your quant, your AI, your whatnot may not help you. So, but the only way to learn it is by doing it and implementing. You have to put live money on it. 2 a.m. here in London. Going to watch the rest of when I wake up. Thanks and good night. No problem, Nuvi. I appreciate you being here. Really, if you're in London, man, I can see opportunities right now. I'm thinking about London all the time. I don't know if you know, but I'm born in the city, Kingsbury, London, and I don't know, man. I'd love to go live in London. There's so much going on, the culture and stuff. It's just no other city like it. New York was like that, but well, we know where New York is at now. If you want to have free food and get free bus rides, you know where to go. If not, good night. Thanks for all your kind stuff. So you've been up to what time? I don't know. So 9 yeah, so it's like 3 a.m. his time. Anybody else got any questions or comments at all? Let me know. If not, I'll do a wrap because I want to apply my Rhythmic code to my latest project. I got it working in C++ with simulated data, but I want to get the Rhythmic working, get the Rhythmic API working on C++. Once I achieve that, like, dude, world is my, I did it with C#. I want to do the same thing with C++. The world will be my oyster once I can get past that. I think I hopefully can do it with what I did with C#. You guys got any questions or comments at all? If not, I'll do it going once, twice, 3 times. I don't want to sit here and entertain trolls or be entertained by them. They are funny, I have to say. It's like going to the zoo or going to a comedy show with some of their stuff. But some of it, it's like, oh man. So if you got comments or questions, let me know within 3 counts. If not, I'll drop off like the others. Okay, we're going to do it going once, going twice, going 3 times. Just type something in there. I know if you got a question. Going 2.5, going 3 times. I guess we're done. So as I said, I'm going to be on next week. Wherever I'm at that point, I make that into a topic. I think tonight's topic was pretty good. I think people are looking to get answers, but I already kind of addressed it. But this is more just talking here. I can only show so much on talking. I can give you opinions, but that's about it. All right. So I think I'm done, but have a good night. Thanks for watching. Always remember, go to quantlabnet.com, sign up to see things, and get on the email list to know the latest. We shall talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.